and with some of the younger up-and-comers. I really want to keep an eye on both Ali and Accuracy and just see how their AWPing is going. Obviously, 9-10, his performances haven't been spectacular as of late, but since the change-up, it's been pretty good.
All right, well, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. It is going to be Grayhound versus ATOX.
Got potential upset territory over here, and ATOX are hoping to breach it. ATOX, that Accuracy versus aliStair matchup is going to be key in this one, and we've got to see whether it can actually become relevant. Starting things off with Ali trying to find a few pot shots, will not be able to do so. Dexter's been gooshed down immediately, but he's not going to sway away from the contest. Vexite forced forward, but Dexter forced down. Zesta in hot pursuit, and Vexite is going to be falling very soon as well. This pistol round starting off very well for the Mongolian side.
Yeah, I mean, you could have started off worse if you're a Grayhound. Took a lot of damage on those early fights, got nothing for your exchange, and sure, getting one back now via Liaz is going to help, especially creating a bit more room here for Inks to creep out with those dualies, but A's now locked in. Mick taking a headshot right back, and there isn't a kit available here for the Grayhound side, so time will be a little bit of an imperative factor for them.
Accuracy just takes that first duel as well. They know there's no one coming in from Donut. Accuracy ends up being the first one to go down. In stamps it, but really that's not a threat at all. In just continues forward. Will need to come through, be the Superman he can be, and now as he's trying to find this duel rotating around, there won't be enough time left to get this full defuse through. It'll be right at the nick of it. Maybe, just maybe he has it. Doesn't feel like it though.
It's definitely going to be tight, but he's decided to commit to it, so he's just about got it. Wow. I mean, a 2 versus 4, maybe even start off as a 2 versus 5 there in that pistol. The ATOX side had everything to play off of. They got the entries, they made it uncomfortable for those A players, but in their hubris, getting caught on some of these fights, and actually allowing Grayhound to, you know, just jiggle, tap into a lot of those angles, actually kind of opened up opportunities.
And here's what people don't realize. Ins might be the best Australian player in the world, and I say that in a world where JKS exists, all right? This guy is the driving force of Grayhound and has been now for ages. And with Dexter coming in, that's supposed to unlock him. So, you know what, Ins? I like what I see. I like what I see.
Picking up what you're putting down. Such an important role for Dexter on this team, in-game leader, but also a fragging one at that, but he ends up empty-handed. Molotov caught in hand, and he couldn't pull out his weapon quite quick enough. ATOX once again breaching into this A-bomb site, and this time with a bit more pace.
Oh, Molotov's great as well to be forcing aliStair into the smoke, but aliStair is very comfortable inside it, in fact. Bomb can't be recovered too easily. The smoke's going to start to dissipate soon as well. Flashbang to allow him to push forward. Good for one. Can he find two? Mick finally comes into play. Disables him. 3v2 again an advantage, but one that cannot be exercised till Cabal gets his flank together. Cabal given a lot of space, and he is taking it, but his teammates are on a timer.
The longer they wait, the more and more time it allows Grayhound to piece this one together. But they've decided to circumvent the problem by maybe even re-clearing that area. So this is going to be a little strange. This is weirdly, who's hunting who begins to be the question, because Cabal's clearing out all of this, but he could get caught on a timing.
He turns around. Cabal still can't find the duo, and although they've recovered the bomb, it's not planted yet. What's a util status? Only a grenade goes out early, no one receiving it. Liaz reveals his position. Zesta nearby. Expected, but Liaz takes a couple of shots to the foot. Brought down very low. Ins again on the retake. Fantastic stuff from him. Zesta needs to put it all together. Worried about a player being close, but Liaz hadn't taken that ground. Grayhound will even disallow a bomb plant.
I can't believe they've gotten away with 2 of these rounds where, I mean, the initial take from ATOX actually looks solid. So this is a cold timeout. I don't know if this is technical, but I'd actually expect ATOX to almost take a second to breathe, because they're getting into advantageous positions. They're losing out and getting caught in a little bit of the chaos. And at the moment, Grayhound are making a lot of the right decisions in sort of counteracting that or bypassing what ATOX are putting down. So, I mean, in terms of expectations, you know, the same way we were talking about the MongolZ and the fact they make so many major appearances, Grayhound have that expectation and that pressure probably on them as well. But it also, you know, it's for good reason. These guys have a caliber, and they've got a nice bit of finesse in certain moments, especially when they're playing these Asian tournaments. that, I mean, they're going to be a hard team to beat, even if ATOX do find themselves in advantages.
And I will say, it does feel like ATOX was the team to try and punish Grayhound, right? You've got a great op-v-op matchup. You've got some fantastic rifles. And Dobu and Cabal give you that experience in calling, which make it so you're not just going to be immediately flustered up against the Aussies if they start to get their train going. And I think you will start to see that more and more as the rounds go on. But if you can't get the nice little seal on the round, if you're going to struggle with these post plants like this, on Ancient no less, this is going to be a difficult map to run away with.
Yeah, especially when they're going in with such pace. You know, if we think about Dobu and some of the teams he's been in-game leaders of before, or, you know, he's had leadership positions in, Ancient is actually one of his better maps, but usually in these, like, you know, 3v3 mid-round moments, you know, making the right late call. But we've not seen that so far. ATOX have gone in with some pace, and that may be something that changes moving forward.
ATOX assigned to take the knee as far as the economy is concerned. Just a few deagles here and there. It's important that you keep your players alive for Grayhound for a round like this, but Inns gets aggressive. The flash isn't really great, but it doesn't matter. He picks up the frags anyway.
They moved people around. I swear Dexter was the mid player for Grayhound. There he is, anchoring that A bomb site. It's not like I think Dexter did poorly in that position either, but they may have found an even better fit somehow.
Vexite did have some real pop-off games last year when he was playing mid, so this might be one of their solutions to try and get him more activated, because it does feel like, regardless of the promise that he was, well, you know, promising, he's never been that activated star.
Yeah, a lot to prove.
Funnily enough, the double nade actually ends up not working because of their own missed smoke, so that's just 3 pieces of utility that do nothing. Vexite blind as a bat, but he's deadly as well. Zesta does trade. There's 2 players around the corner. Ali's only ready for 1. Dexter, now he's back to JiJieHao middle, and well, he's back to JiJieHao, well, grave.
Okay. Yeah, real challenging now here for Grayhound, but they finagled their way out of a couple of these already. We've only seen 3 rounds of play. Still a very separated Dobu from the rest of the pack, and Inns is still reinvestigating middle as well. If Dobu even gives up even a sniff, Inns is able to capitalize on that. So back into a 2-on-2. They have kits, they have smokes as well, but they may not need a damn thing. Inns is hitting headshots. A double kill from him so far, and just leaving Zesta, this inexperienced rookie, the one that has promise, and people talk about its taps. They have to hit some nice ones now, but it's a labored spray. Inns punishing once again. Every one of these retakes, it's Inns the Undying that answers for Grayhound.
It really is like Inns against the world at this point. 3 out of the 4 rounds that they've gotten is off of his retakes. The other one was an anti-eco.
Yeah. I don't know how he keeps just flooring these people as well. It's not like... When we think about ATOX from like a mechanics point of view, it's not like they're gonna slouch in this game, but Inns is just feeling himself.
Oh no,
I mean, he's so confident on these fights as well.
Mechanically speaking, ATOX is just as good as literally everyone else in Asia.
Yeah. But mechanics has always been one of those talking points for the Asia region. It's always been the extra finesse and sometimes some of the spices that you need to cook up a good round. Sometimes that can be a little missing.
And the thing is that no matter what's happened, Australia and Australian teams have always had the best firepower in the APAC region, and that has not changed in the past few years. Because in domestic scenes, these guys hit like a truck.
Yeah, it's a shame there's an ocean between them and the rest of Asia, huh?
Yeah, trucks drown in oceans, you're right, actually. Yeah. Double K set up from Grayhound this time out. Solid read from Dexter as he has repositioned back over towards the B bomb side. He is a bouncing man right now.
There's kind of a lot of territory for ATOX just to be able to creep into, especially when it's only 2 players properly dedicated towards the bomb site. doubling inside of Cave, and now as well that nade revealing Liaz, but unable to capitalize. No punishment on that play, and Dexter vacated from his spot as well. He was that extra tertiary player that Grayhound needed on this bomb site, and he's going to catch him completely off guard. Cabal left as that last man standing. He was that first point of contact for ATOX inside of Cave, but they did not get much further than the entrances of B.
I'm really appreciating the fact that Grayhound are so ready to be caught off by timings, if that sort of makes sense, right? Because Liaz over there with the nade, he's got no idea someone's close by like that, but he's so snappy, quick adjustment. And ATOX, they've got shivers in their hands right now. You know, accuracy, Zesta, we've seen both of them miss out on a couple of key moments, and they are the inexperienced players.
Yeah.
Mick might not be as known to people, but accuracy and Zesta are brand spanking new. These guys were playing ESEA Open just the end of last year. That's how new they are.
Yeah. And like you weigh that up against the experience that Dobu and Cabal have each as individual players, but also together. Like they were what, a part of 5 Power, August. I think they won Mazalai together as well. And even though Cabal went off to go on his little adventure with Blitz for a certain period, then he went and had a kid, and they were like, you know what? We're just going to get a kid ourselves. And so they just went younger and younger with the next talent they brought in.
I think Cabal, in his time with Blitz, really took inspiration. He's like, you know what? Blitz is really targeting these younger players. He's getting Senzim as, you know, I know how to one-up him. Waifu there. It's time to create.
He did not have a kid so that Blitz could pick him up.
He had a kid so Blitz couldn't pick him up. That's what happened. Couldn't get any talent for himself, he had to create it.
Don't talk to me or my kid.
ATOX are going to try for a bit of a faster play out towards B, at least that's what the Tech 9s would suggest. Cabal has been left on an AK. Would like to see him maybe get some lurking out, but as Liaz is getting aggressive, he's going to be meeting absolutely no one. Tech 9 goes through the smoke. Dobu thought he could catch him off guard, but that won't be. The reload is what actually ends up being the death of Liaz, but Dexter reloading himself right back into the B bomb site. He's just not expected at this point. The 3 players here, they're not ready for Ins. Here's the steps. He is untouchable, honestly.
I mean, he's had 1 death so far, and it just feels like every round we're getting a multi-kill out of Ins. I mean, great echolocation, just great reaction, and I like the fact that we actually get to see a bit more of that forward step by Grayhound in this moment, because we had a little Lou in the action, and ATOX were trying to concoct something together, but this is a great way to disrupt anything that they discussed in their timeout, or sort of ahead of that round. So, yeah, I mean, just a great decision there for Grayhound to choose to be aggressive in that moment.
Oh my god, the double nade just doing so much damage as Vexside tries to get aggro. Reveals his position right there. Dexter is nearby. They've left aliStair to just try and anchor up that A bomb site. Now that he's got the AWP picked up, that is where Dexter is much more comfortable to float like a butterfly.
And Ali just kind of gets to choose his spots as far as I'm aware as well. You know, the team will play dynamically around that, but if he feels like he can get a pick inside of A main, you know, they allow him that kind of play. Thing is, he held this angle for so long, and he's unfortunately missed the timing. And this could be an awkward period here for Grayhound if they're caught transitioning players back and forth.
The bomb is still leaning towards the B bomb site though, so I doubt that we're going to see any major pokes and prods. Smoke timing on a donut is good. It means that Dexter has to take a bit more of an ISO fight. They want to try double swinging into him, but I love this from Dexter. He's just holding on. Waits for the timing, peeks out late, but he is still caught off. That's a bit of a failure of the hands right there. And now Cabal is forced out, so much more presence over here. Ins is back, and that's where they should be executing onto the B site. But there's Molotovs, there's smokes, and now there's personnel too. Look at this flank, it's been sussed out. Cabal ready. And now aliStair as well, spotted a couple of bullets connected, but it's not enough. Liaz on the B bomb site's already got a double.
They had everything they needed. Cabal did exactly what they asked of him, got himself inside of red, kept them busy, But when it comes to dealing with Liaz, there was no real contest. Molotov on the bomb site, 10 seconds, and they're getting burned up, they're getting spammed down, but they do escape. They get into post-plant positions, and they may be a man down, but if Mid floors this first, that could have certainly opened up the round. Now neither player healthy at all.
Not enough utility to try and flush him out. The Molotov is a little bit awkward. They're both focused on it. This nade is beautiful. Liaz is going to go down and some damage dealt as well, but Inz is there to trade. Accuracy's HP hardly conducive. Both players with a kid. Inz will tap. Accuracy will not peak. And as he does, Inz is down. aliStair's far away. But again, double kit was there. It's going to be right enough time. aliStair's got the defuse. And Grayhound simply does not lose these retakes.
They just keep on getting away with it. I really felt like positionally, ATOX had a real opportunity to break through on this round. The fact that Cabal was such a presence, he was actually keeping a player busy on that was supposed to go over to the B rotate. But the fact that Liaz got that double kill, and eventually they were able to sort of suss out Cabal, just made a world of a difference. Like, if he gets that kill into aliStair, this round is ATOX for the taking.
The problem was also that they left the bomb towards the back of the B door side. So even though there were 3 players going up mid, you don't want your lurk to be going back, getting the bomb, and then going forward again.
Yeah.
So the timing that Cabal finds isn't actually the timing of the rest of the team because of that one small error. But errors have been committed on this A site, honestly, pretty often.
Yeah, kind of a couple times over, especially when it's been faster plays from ATOX. They've actually been able to get this entry, but this time Dexter just wanted to take the space and have Ali sort of there as backup, but he's locking down an angle.
He's just spammed down two through the wall. Ali should end up going down regardless of it as he's trying to back off. It's a really close range shot, missed out. Zesta buys some space, but real estate is all they'll get. Accuracy on the other side of the map gets up a quick kill, but Greyhound's already relocated back to B. There's plenty of time to pause, hold, reset. That's a call.
You can't keep giving up man advantages. It's happened a lot this game so far for ATOX. You know, fool me 7 times, shame on me.
Inz is dead though.
But you still have to deal with Liaz. He's had some critical multi-kills.
Can you take the win? He's dead, okay?
Okay, okay. Inz is not a factor.
Can Vexite be one, though? He doesn't have a choice. There are 2 Molotovs on the other side as well, and this is a dangerous position to play. But will ATOX contact? And that's exactly what they're trying. Vexite's been given a chance. A flashbang overhead as well. But now the flames underneath him, and he is on fire in more ways than just the one. Cabal, a lonely man with very little time on his hands. Liaz around the corner, and maybe there was a chance for a quick pre-fire, but Liaz gets that any day of the week. 8-0. They can't keep getting away with it.
You couldn't have asked for more from Vexite in that position as well. I mean, no smoke really to dispel the flames, got that flash out, but then also was so dialed into that peak on Big that as soon as he swung out into the flames, yeah, I'm not surprised this secondary ATOX player got caught off guard because that's what he decided to do.
Oh my god,
that's egregious.
Disgusting.
That is so... The thing is, Inz is killing people when he's on their screen and when he's off them. I don't know what's happened, but Inz is just, he's so dialed in at the moment. Oh god, timing is great, but they just run straight over the 2 players inside of caves, so it could have started off nice, but aliStair trying his best to pull up some numbers, but they've been steamrolled on B. Once again, man advantage, bomb down for ATOX.
Vexite just gets a stray one through the smoke as well. That's not really great. Re-smoke out. They're worried maybe that first smoke was defective. Knight will be making it defective though, and that's where Dexter's hoping to try to aggress through. A flashbang in the cave will guarantee the push forward, but Mick has dodged it. Mick has found the frag, and Vexite as well, tagged up inside the smoke, cannot push through too easily. And although there is a smoke of his own, he might just end up trying to stick this. Quick swing out from the back lines, but it's Mick spam that does give them the first. ATOX finally win a round.
It is about damn time. They've had so many man advantages that have been thrown away. And I'd say thrown, but the people that are taking these rounds away from them have been phenomenal. So The fact that the Grayhound side have been able to pull through so many of these moments, that is actually kind of indicative of the way that this buy is now wrapping up for them, because they've not had crazy amounts of surviving players. They keep having to claw back these rounds.
I just hope that ATOX have the wherewithal to realize that they're probably going up against the MP9s.
Yeah, pull up the surviving count on each of these rounds for Grayhound, and you piece it together very quick. But Dobu's very fast to ascend through ledge, and they want to actually crunch towards middle, where it's surprisingly absent.
It's a boost up for aliStair as well, and he's really hoping to find Mick here. Mick, however, great movement. Crouching forward, moving past, not risking anything at all. A deep Molotov to make sure that no one can push forward themselves. Cabal, he's found a home. He likes it here. Expects the value of this real estate to be going up the later the round goes. Molotov to back to donut will not be the most relevant, to be honest, after that smoke's been thrown. But the man to keep an eye out for is Cabal, and, well, Inns is trying to keep an eye out for him.
Thing is, having Cabal in this spot, any noise, any step, any flashes being thrown from CT, that'll be his cue to go. But you see Grayhound trying to be proactive and not just simply sit on zero information. They get Vexite pushed forward at A, and it does mean that they can add an extra man to the potential hold. The damage is great on the nade and the spam there from Liaz, but unable to get through with any kills, and this is all Cabal needed, just a singular prompt, and he finally gets his kill.
I think he spotted out Inns as well to the back of the side. aliStair position known. Inns is still set up the crossfire. aliStair finds a planter, prevents it from going down, and again, ATOX simply cannot get an easy round. Dobu found up next, and Cabal's all that's left. You were given the position, Cabal. You can't be given the round.
They just can't, they honestly cannot catch a break. Inns spamming them on ledge. Now we have aliStair hitting shots when they've got the bomb site. But, you know, this is the problem with as well with opening up yourself to that plant and to that spam, is that is what can happen to you sometimes. Why some teams have started planting the other side of the pillar, especially when you don't have cave control.
To be honest, it's not even just that. It's also the fact that they start planting so quick.
Yeah.
Right? You've got space. You know Inns is there. Cabal did spot him. Maybe he didn't register it. That's a separate conversation.
But the two of the players didn't have HP either as well, so...
I mean, the nade was fantastic from earlier, right? So all of that comes right back.
A lot of information to process in a very chaotic moment.
Oh, nade right to the chunk of them, and Inns is happy to collect. That spray continues. He is a confident man. More than I would be. But for good reason. Vexite moves past as well, but Zesta intercepts and smokes off aliStair right there and then. Dexter on the flank though. Cabal's going to be very late to this bomb site. Bomb planted in a bit of an awkward position, so Cabal can at least try to accelerate there. First player spotted out. Dexter knows there should be a second, and aliStair on the other side. His position was given up earlier on. Quick tap on the bomb. Dexter knows they're going to be scared. Picks up the first Molotov. Doesn't matter. There's a smoke down. Cabal, you gotta know about these things. Knows about the first shot he hit, but not that second. aliStair, he is comfy.
Is that another 2 versus 3? I think we've seen like 6 so far this map, and only one of them has actually pulled through for ATOX so far. It's actually outrageous how many retakes this Grayhound team are pulling together, and it's different players. You know, Inns was a part of it at the start of this game, but we're having impact from players like Vexite. You know, Dexter as well played this clutch, or played out this 2 versus 3 perfectly, and just kind of just teed up aliStair to succeed here, because for all Cabal knows is that there could be somebody sticky inside the smoke, and Dexter's just holding around the edge of it. You know, they're playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of bravado, and even though they find themselves in bad positions, they just keep on succeeding. aliStair, this time, a critical miss. Nobody can plug this up quite quick enough for Grayhound.
The A side just isn't really working for them unless it's on a retake. Vexite decides, you know what, let's make this a retake faster, but Dobu's just spammed him right through. Meanwhile, Dexter setting up for a flank that accuracy will not be ready for. The timing's been hit, but Dexter is hitting real hard right now. Traded, yes. Now it's a 2 versus 4. Inns, no stranger to this site. Does very often have to come in through smokes, Molotovs, fires, and enemies, but that's never stopped him before. Finally, someone does. Accuracy and Doubu take them down. ATOX will collect at least 2 rounds.
Yeah, succeeding in breaking into these bomb sites with pacier plays. They had a successful round on that B bomb site, and now is pulling through with one on A as well. It's not exactly the way that ATOX would have liked to have started this game, and honestly, it's going to feel a little heartbreaking the way that they kept on losing these man advantages, to be quite honest with you. But you know, again, this was one of those cases where we have this expectation. The Mongols are probably going to do quite well this tournament. Grayhound also have that expectation. Dexter coming back from the European region to then now go to refamiliarize himself with his roots, as well as try and elevate some of these star players on the Grayhound roster that have sometimes in moments looked like they've maybe stagnated a little bit. You know, we want to see growth from players as time goes on.
You want to hear a cool stat?
Sure.
Inns had 149.5 ADR in that first half.
That's a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. Liaz 118, and Liaz was on half the kills that Inns had, so that's also pretty funny.
Who keeps stealing Liaz's kills?
Liaz is just getting a lot of really good HE damage out towards that B side as well, but Vexai, tappity-tap down mid. Does end up getting traded, but as the B bomb site is under attack, Mick has to come alive with the duelies. He's putting them down. Good for the 1 second as Layford will collect in the end regardless, and although he finally finds death, but aliStair is in fact the one delivering more than just the one. Bomb was already planted, so at least it's the more doable. He just wants to get aggressive. Zesta on the other side of it all will be able to find the frag. That is a quick collapse on both sides.
Yeah, that's confident fighting there from aliStair, especially once he got those kills inside of Cave. You know, just felt like you could maybe catch Zesta off guard, you know, leveraging the Zesta inexperience perhaps as well in that moment. But a critical shot for Zesta to hit gives a little bit more leeway here for ATOX. These first couple taps, I feel like they almost turned you into an Irishman for some reason, but they were nice openers there for Vexai left on his elbow duties. But a bit of elbow grease as well here from ATOX. It's honestly, it's about time they win some of these rounds, to be quite honest. Like, when we've ended up in so many post plants, so many man advantages, you know, you just want to see them break past that mental barrier, because Grayhound just kept getting away with murder.
You would also think that theoretically, when Inns is able to control more of when he wants to take these duels on the T side, there should be an easier transition for him to continue that form. But that's obviously something that's always to be seen. If he doesn't show up in this half, you don't know what's coming around the corner.
Also maybe a good time for aliStair to have been engaged. A lot of impact in that pistol.
Yeah.
It's also where Dexter can be the front runner for the Grayhound side, so that some of these stars, some of these names that we're saying, have a little bit more room.
This is a fake out towards the A site, and they know it. Cabal's got an aggressive, good for the first, and information is wonderful to find over here. A late commit onto A seems to be the plan, but they've already lost out one of their prongs. Dexter down from main, and you've got Doubu coming back to check up Red Room. That is where Inns has deposited himself, as Cabal was known to do, but Mix has lost the sight. Not quite fulfilled that Liaz role the same way. Doubu, quick little drive-by. 2 versus 3. It's a dangerous zone for them so far.
Oh, the timing could be great here, though. Just dealing with accuracy will be the major problem, and once you do that, you have options both directions. Accuracy was not prepared. But Liaz also letting his guard down slightly, still playing at the big box is Zesta, and catches him when he doesn't have his deke deployed, but Zesta wasting a whole lot of ammo. It's Liaz that finally falls, and now Inns, little time, no teammates, and needs to get this bomb punched in. We will find his kill, but actually punching in those digits is gonna be tight, but I think he's just about got it. Yeah, a clutch now presented here for Inns.
6 bullets running out as well. He needed to find that quick shot. Doubu is not happy with the eventual outcome of this round. I mean, you also saw accuracy did sort of neglect to properly peek that little corner over there as well, giving Inns that better chance. But at the end of the day, ATOX are happy with the round. They would have liked to prevent the bomb plant, because that does mean Greyhound's probably going to buy again. And this time, you're going to have another better buy than the CT side with only 1 M4 save.
I do wonder as well, because accuracy is typically like an AWPer that sort of sets position at the entrances of bomb sites, whether he looked at the shadow, because there is that light inside of Red Room, and maybe saw the floor not being a casted shadow, so maybe letting his guard down, thinking that if there was going to be somebody there, I would see it, but before I even need to really peek into the fight. Or it could have just been negligence, but, you know, I like to give an an alternative perspective, perhaps, as to why he made the play he did. Faster play here from Grayhound.
And accuracy hits that first one. That's what you're talking about, Michael. Waiting to enter those sites. That's what accuracy specializes in. Zesta inside the smoke will be looking to push out. Is there a flashbang to help? He doesn't need it. That's a smoke up above. That's not supposed to be there. CT spawn unsmoked and needed to be re-smoked. So this retake might be a little bit easier, just a smidgen at best. You are still relying on Cabal to activate on this flank that's going to be very, very slow. Intis hoping to spot an accuracy deep into Temple. It's unlikely for him to have moved. Liaz, in the meanwhile, takes that first contact. Dobu spotted out. aliStair pushes him back. Again, Cabal is the linchpin of this round, but Dobu's lost his life in the meanwhile. Inns goes down. Contact comes in from Mick, but Mick isn't having the best game now either. A flash in his face, and Cabal is out of contention. The kit recovered, sure, but aliStair recovers the round.
That was really, really well done there from Grayhound. Even just being so contained inside of the bomb site, you know, didn't have great after plant positions, but once they realized that ATOX actually weren't coming in with any pace, they weren't applying much pressure onto the site, they, I think, very quickly pieced together the idea that there's probably a flank, they're waiting for something, and so they maintained activity, they kept actually peeking into those fights and committing to double swings that ATOX simply didn't have the manpower to support or actually counteract.
I like the thought coming out over there from the ATOX setup, because they're assuming that, sure, it's going to be a full force spy, but there's not going to be as much priority put on utility. So accuracy should be able to cover off that A main side very comfortably, but he just misses that second shot, and you can't afford that. Add that to, hey, Dobu's looking to maybe recontest a little bit before, because he's trying to buy space so that they're not thinking of where Cabal is, and he just dies. Those are the small errors that Grayhound again and again and again and again are exploiting.
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell they played that round and that post plan out with some solid experience. You know, didn't overstep their mark, but also made I think the right call in terms of punishing what ATOX were waiting for on that play. It's a nice opener here for Inns, just taking the challenge out through middle. Cabal did not have much support. That support was supposed to link up via ledge, but they were a little late to the party. Dobu does get his kill, but not actually get his hands on a rifle, just a little out of arm's reach. He's been pretty good on this MP9, though.
Yeah.
See, he might have been one of the first players I saw hit like crazy long-range bursts with the MP9.
Yeah, he's really good at controlling that one.
Weirdly, I think Cabal also had moments like that, which is, you know, it's odd that it's both of them.
The patience of age, I suppose. Dobu can't be too patient, otherwise you'll have to find something to do in the lower bracket. You need to get this one together somehow. Your only hope is Zesta's 5-7, but that's not much of a hope at all with a Molotov right underneath that he can't connect. It's just not possible. And ATOX, they're not going to have money in that next round. This is going to be pretty much a game over for them. 12-4 projected to be a 13-4 with the way things are going. This is as much of a heartbreak as you can see in a BO1.
Yeah, I mean, top 4 expected teams at this tournament. You have TYLOO, Lynn Vision, the MongolZ, and sure enough, Grayhound. And I think we saw what MongolZ did earlier. The Grayhound side, maybe a little bit more tumultuous in a few moments. You know, definitely maybe should have lost a couple more rounds, but have played with such great caliber and class. They're doing much the same to ATOX, who are kind of like one of these budding teams that, honestly, this could have been an upset, but seems like things are going as planned here for Grayhound.
Backside is very wary of a push through, and that's exactly what they do have planned. And with the smoke down, aliStair is covering off the right side of her. Flash overhead is going to do absolutely nothing. Backside cleans it up. It's a 5v3, and, well, honestly, sorry, buddy, the round is kind of gone.
That's like the one play he was probably the most prepared for. And they went and did it, and he's like, you fool, I've practiced this move at least 1,000 times.
You have activated my trap card.
Yeah, and aliStair was there as like some, I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh! To continue this, to be honest.
Cheerleader? I mean, yeah, cheerleaders. People reacted on the side. Yeah. There you go. The sidekick for this round.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's been, honestly, pretty solid. Accuracy and Zesta. This is an ESEA Open, guys. I hate to break it to you. Grayhound will be breaking you in half. 13-4, a map that realistically, honestly, I do think that ATOX were in consistently, but it doesn't matter if you're not winning any of those rounds.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw as well that Grayhound had that dog in him. I mean, for them, it just felt like there were so many reasons for them to have lost.